Chapter 15. God rejects the angel's petition for forgiveness. Continued. For the Lord Yah spoke a word, and I heard him say unto me, Fear not, Enoch, a righteous man and scribe of righteousness. Come close, hear my voice. Journey on to the watchers of heaven, those whom you were sent by to plead for, and say, You watchers ought to be pleading for us. Enoch 15, 1-2. After all, are not all angels ministering spirits sent forth to minister unto those who will inherit salvation? Hebrews 1:14. For you abandoned the high holy and eternal heaven, laying and going into the daughters of men, possessing wives for yourselves, doing like unto the ways of men upon the earth, but breeding giants as sons. Enoch 15:3. Indeed, for it came to pass that men began to exist in great numbers on the earth, and daughters were born to them. So when the sons of Yah saw the daughters of men were beautiful, they took wives for themselves of all they chose. Then the Lord Yah said, My spirit shall not remain with these people forever, for they are flesh. So their days shall be 120 years. Now there were giants on the earth in those days, and also afterward, when the sons of Yah came into the daughters of men, and they bore children to them. Those were the men of old, men of great stature. Genesis 6, 1-4. See, even though you were holy, spiritual, and living life in eternity, still you debased yourselves with women's blood, having children from the blood of their flesh. You lusted for flesh and blood, as those do who die and perish upon the earth. For this reason is why I give wives unto the sons of men, that they could conceive children, planting seeds among the daughters of men, that they may remain satisfied, desiring nothing upon the earth. However, you, who once holy, immortal, and living in heaven throughout the ages of the earth, I did not assign wives to you. Enoch 15, 4-7a. So observe and see, for in the day of resurrection there will be no one who marry nor are given into marriage, but are like the angels. Matthew 22:30. For the holy ones of heaven all dwell above. Now the Nephilim who became giants upon the earth will be called evil spirits, because of their procreation by way of the spirit and flesh upon the earth, where they shall remain. Enoch 15, 7b-8. Now when Yahuah had come to the other side, to the country of the Gergesenes, in the region of Gadara east of Jordan, for it was there he met with demon-possessed men, coming out of the tombs, exceedingly fierce, so that no one could pass that way. Then suddenly they cried out, saying, What have we to do with you, Yahuah, you son of Yahuah? You come here to torment us before the time? Now a good way off from them there was a herd of many pigs feeding. So the demons begged him, saying, If you cast us out, permit us to go away into the herd of pigs. Then Yahuah said to them, Go. So when they had come out, they went into the herd of pigs. Suddenly the whole herd of pigs ran violently down the cliff into the sea, and perished in the water. Matthew 8, 28-32. For it was when Yahuah had called his 12 disciples to himself, when they were given power over unclean spirits to cast them out, and to heal all kinds of sickness and all kinds of disease. Matthew 10:1. Now there was a man in their synagogue with an unclean spirit. Then he cried out, saying, Let us alone. What have we to do with you, Yahuah of Nazareth? Did you come to destroy us? I know you are the Holy One of Yahuah. Then Yahuah rebuked him, saying, Be quiet, and come out of him. For when the unclean spirit had shaken the man and cried out with a loud voice, he came out from him. They all were amazed and began questioning amongst themselves, saying, "What is this? What new doctrines is this?" With authority he commands even the unclean spirits, and they obey him. Mark 1:23-27. So it was whenever the unclean spirits saw Yahshua that they would fall down before him, crying out and saying, "You are the Son of Yahuwah." Mark 3:11. For it was when Yahshua had come out of the boat that there was one who immediately met him from outside of the tombs, a man with an unclean spirit, who had his dwelling among the tombs, and no one could bind him, not even with chains, because he had often been bound with shackles and chains. For the chains had been pulled apart by him, and the shackles broken to pieces. Neither could anyone tame him. It was always night and day. He would be among the mountains and in the tombs, crying out and cutting himself with stones. When he saw Yahshua from afar, he ran and worshipped him, crying out with a loud voice, saying, "What have I to do with you, Yahshua, Son of the Most High God? I beg you by Yahuwah that you do not torment me." So Yahshua said to him, "Come out of the man, unclean spirit." Then Yahshua asked him, "What is your name?" And he answered, saying, "My name is Legion, for we are many." He also begged Yahshua earnestly that he would not send them out of the region. Now a large herd of pigs was feeding there, near the mountains. So all the demons begged him, saying, "Send us to the pigs, that we may enter them." Immediately Yahshua gave them permission. Then the unclean spirits went out and entered the pigs, for there were about 2,000 amongst them that began running so violently down the steep and into the sea, being drowned. Mark 5:2-13. There was, when Yahshua saw that the people came running together, he rebuked the unclean spirit, saying, "Deaf and dumb spirit, I command you, come out of him and enter no more." Then the spirit cried out, shook the boy greatly, and come out from him. For the boy became as one dead. So all said unto him, "He's dead." But Yahshua took the boy by the hand and lifted him up, and he arose. Mark 9:25-26. Now in the synagogue there was a man who had a spirit of an unclean demon, and he cried out with a loud voice, saying, "Let us alone! What have we to do with you, Yahshua of Nazareth? Did you come to destroy us? I know who you are, the Holy One of Yahuwah." However, Yahshua rebuked him, saying, "Be quiet and come out of him." For it was when the demon had thrown around the man in their midst, it came out of him, but not hurting him. Then they were astonished, speaking amongst themselves, saying, "What a word this is! For it is with authority and power he commands the unclean spirits, and they came out." Luke 4:33-36. For it was Yahshua who came down with them and stood on a leveled cliff with a crowd of his disciples and a great multitude of people from Judea and Jerusalem and from the seacoast of Tyre and Sidon, who came to hear him and be healed of their diseases, as well as those who were tormented with unclean spirits, and they were healed. Luke 6:17-18. For it was in that very hour Yahshua cured many of infirmities, afflictions, evil spirits, and gave sight to many who were blind. Luke 7:21. There were certain women who had been healed of evil spirits and infirmities. Mary called Magdalene, out of who had come 7 demons. Luke 8:2. See, Yahshua performed unusual miracles by the hands of Paul, so that even handkerchiefs or aprons were brought from his body to the sick, and the diseases left them, and evil spirits went out from them. Then some of the itinerant Jewish exorcists took it upon themselves to call the name of the Lord Yahuah, over those who had evil spirits, saying, "We exorcise you by the Yahuah whom Paul preaches." Also, there were 7 sons of Sceva, and a Jewish chief priest who did so. Then the evil spirit answered and said, "Yahuah I know, and Paul I know, but who are you?" Then the man in whom the evil spirit was in leaped on them, overpowered them, and prevailed against them, so that they fled out of that house naked and wounded. Acts 19:12-16. Now the evil spirits that held possession over men's flesh were forced out from them, since they were conceived from men and the holy watchers, those who introduced them to such blasphemies from the beginning with demonic origins. For these spirits will be filled with wickedness on the earth, and called what they represent, evil spirits. However, for the spirits above, high in the heavens is where they reside, unlike the spirits of evil, for they who was born upon the earth will stay upon the earth. See, the spirits that remain from those who were giants cause afflictions, persecute, kill, criticize, and quarrel, causing all kinds of problems upon the earth. Oh, how they have no concern for food, either for hunger or for thirst. They only desire to cause offenses, which no one observes, for they will rise up in opposition towards the children of men. Enoch 15:9-12. See, when an unclean spirit goes out of a man, he goes through dry places, seeking rest, and finds none. Then he says, "I will return to my house from which I came." And when he comes, he finds it empty, swept, and put in order. Then he goes and takes with him 7 other spirits more wicked than himself, and they enter and dwell there. For the last state of that man is worse than the first, so shall it also be with this wicked generation. Matthew 12:43-45. So be sober and vigilant, because your adversary the devil walks about like a roaring lion, seeking whom he may devour. 1 Peter 5:8.